Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and we are about to have the third session of the week for the videos on the 10 Party Poker Street. As you can tell by stacks, it's not been going too badly so far. So yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Comment, please, if you don't mind. This apparently helps. Like, please, if you don't mind. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, if you don't mind. Hit the notification bell as well, only if you want to. No one's forcing you. And yeah, I'm hoping these videos do a lot better than my previous ones. And if they do, I should continue making them. If they don't, then I think we're probably just going to be in a world where we do the coaching videos with Owen and Simon. Because they don't get many views. I think it's because of the long form, to be honest with you. They don't get many views, but I enjoy working and talking with Simon and Owen, so I should continue doing that with them regardless. So I may as well just record them and put them out and not really give a fuck if they don't do good views. But when I'm doing other stuff, um, I'd rather make videos that get 3-figure views, even if I personally enjoy doing the other ones more. Ace 9 off here is going to be a flat. Just donks this board. Probably entitled to be fair. It's a reasonable board for big blind. We do have an over and some back doors. Sorry, 2 overs and some back doors. So we are going to see one more card. It's ace 9 off. Feels like it's an overfold, but I'm just going to do it. This turn card's really good for villain's range. He finds the overbet. Nice answer. Three bet by small blind to a pretty inappropriate sizing. Don't want to 4-bet and get it in here, so he's going to call and take some flops. Oh dear, if he's got us beat, this is going to be an expensive one. He kicks off with this size. Don't know anything about the guy other than he's got my blue tag. Don't know what to make of this. No reads, just going to call. Bad turn card. And he snap. Do you see how quick he bet there? You got a good hand, have you, mate? You got a good hand? Excited? I wonder if I go all in if you're going to fold. Don't think you are you? Yeah. Just one thing we definitely know about this person, and again, this is a problem I have. This person 100% suffers with premature ejaculation. Without question. He gets in there and he just starts thrusting really, really quickly and really hard. And before his girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband can start enjoying themselves, he's already like, oh, sorry, and wiping his cock on the fucking curtain, isn't he? Anyways, we flop top pair here. What does our note say? Limp call 7.5x suited connector button. Absolutely useless for this particular spot. Start with a small bet. C bet this flop. Get called and we turn a flush draw. This is interesting. If I read it, this guy likes suited connectors. There's a good chance he might be able to continue on this card. I'm going to bet. Don't know if I want to though. But no, I don't want to because getting raised would mean we probably don't have the best hand and we'd have to call it off and it would just stink. This way it gives him a chance to value bet some worse hands versus our checks. Gives him a chance to semi bluff. He chooses to do neither of those things. We've now got a flush. And I'm going to bet 50 big blinds exactly. And he called, which is beautiful. He called with 9-8 offsuit. think we need to go back and take a note on that hand. There, this is the guy that's just called us down with one pair. I don't think we're going to be trying to bluff him right now. Here we've got a big fat ball of nothing, but we have a range advantage and some backdoors. So we're going to make a bet. Get called. I'm now going to make an overbet on this turn card. We have increased our equity. Millen's still pretty capped. And he's absolutely snap called again. I think this is a really bad river card to bluff. 10-9 might not fold. Jack 10, 10-8. Don't think I want to bluff this river card. He's called big bet flop and called over bet turn. I think we just, even though we've only got 7 high, I think we're just giving up here. Really hope he didn't have king queen though. Really hope he doesn't have king queen. No, he wasn't folding that, was he? He was not folding that hand. Where's that hand we had that was quite good? Here it is. Other fish. He can get the headline fucking idiot because that's precisely what he is. Station versus river overbet in position versus scattered position line in 3-bet pot. Off down the set man versus Elliot. Come up dry. Flopping 2 pairs versus 11 dogs. Who's in a rare for him single race pot. If it's not a 3-bet pot, he's usually not fucking playing. Checks back. Going to lead turn for this. Sadly he falls. I don't want to 3-bet this adverse under the gun. I think Queen Jack suited, I would definitely 3-bet. Queen 10 suited. I mean, you've got to draw the line somewhere, haven't you? And I guess I drew it at the Queen 10 suited region. Just calling here, hoping this poker doesn't squeeze. He doesn't, but we miss. No reason to bet this hand. You know, we want to start having quite a few probes, but not with this hand. We just don't need to be taking our probes from like the middle of our range here. I think we've got pretty easy call on this street. And then river might be tricky. You just snap checks back. Going to go for check raise on the turn versus Elliot. What did this guy take that line with? Is 5. Just again, really mergey on the turn. Just like check back flop. Oh, I've hit a pair. Merge. So much of this like really bad play going on in the micro stakes where people just bet from the middle of the range way too often. Which means we should be finding, in my opinion, our strategy versus that should be a lot more like either playing raise or fold rather than call. I think that's a good strategy against these bad players who just like bet from the middle of their range way too often. You just want to like go pretty thin for value against it. Then have quite a few like bluffs that have like decent equity versus the middle parts of players' ranges. And so if you have like 2 overs and a flush draw, or opening straight flush draw, that type of thing. High equity bluffs and like thin, just go thinner for value versus these merges. I think is a generally good strategy. If you find players in your games who are just like they're just routinely stabbing with middle of range hands, which they shouldn't be doing, and that's the best way to exploit them, in my opinion. Thinner value raises and mixing in a few more like equity driven bluffs. I won't be putting a lot of air in there, to be honest. Checking back the eights. Checking back the eights again. See, a lot of players here we just bet now. Like always check twice. I've picked up some equity. I've got a pair. This would be a diabolical bet. Just going to call the tens. And river, we just check down here. Don't expect to win very often, but we do win against some. Can't think what, but some under pairs maybe. Like that. Gonna have to check call this flop with the tens. Expect anyone half decent to range bet this board at a pretty high frequency. Our hand doesn't want to raise. River queen. Don't want to block it. If the river was an undercard, I maybe would have tried to block to get some value from ace high, some value from like under pairs to our tens, but on the queen, I think we're just going to check. And he bets half pot on the river. I really want to turn these tens into a bluff here, but I mean, would ask him to fold a pair bigger than tens. It's not going to happen often enough, so we're not going to do it. Picking up the aces, we are deep versus a weaker player, so we're just going to make an egregiously sized 3-bet because we are nearly 200 pigs deep, so we're just going to like 5x, not give a fuck. We get called in 2 spots, and we get pretty unenjoyable flop, to be honest with you. Better flops we could have seen. There's just going to be no betting of our hand for me. If we had the ace of clubs, maybe we could think about making some small bets, but I think just checking range here. Calling turns unless it goes bet raise, and then deciding on rivers. This guy goes big, but he's bad. He might be just value betting a worse hand. He might be bluffing. It's not nice and not comfortable, but we have to call at least this street. Here we go with a pretty big squeeze. And then he finds this size in the river on the 4th club. I think we just have a fold now. It's sad. Just don't think this dude's bluffing. And on the 4 flush board, I think we just have a fold. Paired board. Middle position versus big blind. Pretty easy. No-brainer range bet spot. Do we want to bet our 10 on the turn? I don't think so. I think it's a bit too thin. Again, a bit too middle of rangey. I don't know what top of range looks like here for me. Deuces, 9s, 4s, 10s, 10-9, all those hands. 3-betting the ace, queen. Flopping a set versus 11 dogs. If he's got a bigger set, he's going to win a big, big pot. Of course, it's over bet 2, which he should do on this board. This is a good bet size from him. Just give us a nice, clean run out, please, dealer. This guy just donks. Good for you. Expect to see checks or like large bets again. He does go with a second over bet. Maybe he's not as big a moron as I thought because he's playing this hand very by the book at the moment. That river. But it doesn't really change much. Does he have many flush draws in range? The ace and the king are out there. I think we're going to have a sad call here when he overbets the river, which he's going to do. He's just going to jam a lot, I imagine. We just have a really sad call. He gives up on the river. Phew. I mean, really? Really? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Don't want to go out on a limb and say that's shit and then review it later and like, oh, actually, that was pretty fucking good. But it looks like it to be shit to me. We tried, and we weren't folding, even though we would have been deeply unhappy. I mean, if he doesn't hit the king, he probably just rifles it in. But he hits the king and then thinks he's got showdown value, and he almost certainly hasn't. Or maybe he's just giving up. He's like, fine, whatever, give up. Maybe I sometimes win now at showdown versus who knows what. Well, there we are, playing 10 and L against some players who are finding the overbet line. What's happened to poker? What's happened to the game when it used to just full of people playing 30/5 and you could just like, they'll never try and bluff you. You could always get value from them. If they raised you, you could always just fold. What happened to those times? Poker was way more fun back then. Literally just bet until they raise and fold. I mean, it's still true to an extent now, but not as true. Do we want to squeeze the king 10 suited here? I don't know if we want to, but I'm going to. Not happy to be facing a large bet here, but flopped a pair, so we can't fold yet. Flopped a gut shot here, but multi-way. I don't know what to do here. My instincts, I just bet really small, like quarter pot. So I'm just going to go with my instincts. Folding this bottom pair on the turn. We get called, and it's just not a turn card we can do anything on. So the jig is up. The game is up. We're just going to have to give up. Maybe it checks through and we spike a queen. Be sweet, wouldn't it? What's happened here? We raised. He's called the button. Spiked a king on the river. Check this jack 10. Do we just get to like block this river now and just like, what's he going to be able to do about it? See. Turning trips. Snap raises. So we just fold. We didn't get to block the river. And I think I do get to overbet this particular river though. Do I? Is it too thin with our kicker? Does our kicker make this too thin? I don't know. Just going to do it anyway. Range bet in the paired board. 11 dogs is 3 betters because that's the 11 dogs just doing 11 dogs things. That'd be one of the most like consistently aggressive little cunts I've ever seen playing micro-stakes poker. And like I say, I said in the previous video, I don't think it's working for him. It might be. It might be, but I saw him once in the basically what is the remedial class of party poker, where he was just in the tournaments that they reserve for their VIPs, i.e., people who pay a lot of rake and don't make money. But maybe it's just a one-off. Because there's only 1 week I could ever get to see him in there, and that was like the week that when I was on that rate back to you because of a new account. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was just saying. Maybe he was his first week too. We can't discount that, can we? Because he does seem like he's like, yeah, it's dead aggro, but I did like his line with the overbet on the board that called for it. But Just to continue the narrative, though, I'm just gonna, even if I don't think he's like shit and losing, it's on the off chance he watches it at some point. I hope he has enjoyed thinking that I think he's like shit and losing. Flopping two pairs here on a board that if this guy's any good, he might overbet. He doesn't overbet, so he's not good. We're going to check raise versus that size. That's too big though, Reg. This seems okay. And I preferred 4.5, but I was too lazy to type. And he snap folds. Opening up the ladies. Oh, 11 dogs is 3-bet again, is he? Who saw that coming? Big bet or check here on this board, I think, for the most part. And I am not wanting to big bet this hand, so therefore I shall check it. Think of checking again. And then just calling rivers that aren't excessively large. That's getting fucking close to being excessively large. See this? I don't think this is merged. Like if he'd bet smaller, I'd be like, well, maybe he's betting a 9 here, for example. I mean, we can't, as played, we can't fold, but I don't think this particular call has a high return on investment. It does this time, yes, threes. I mean, I think he was bluffing there. Right, has that vape got enough charge on it? Should have by now. 44%. That'll do. That'll do for now. There's 3 suited versus 11 dogs. I'm going to open. He's going to 3-bet. I'm going to rip it in his face because I don't give a fuck. Okay, he's not going to. Seriously, fella, have a fucking day off, will you? Just have a day off. You don't have to 3-bet every single time. It's fucking maniacal. Are you going to force me to spew against Jen? This is the time you're going to have it again. I mean, this probably isn't a thing, but his 3-betting range isn't a thing, so we're just going to do it anyway. If he calls, we're going to do it off when we turn equity. Oh, he actually folded. I like that. I'm going to flat this on the button because we've got a green tag in this small blind and don't like 3-betting king queen, frankly. It's not my idea of fun. Button versus under the gun. I'd rather see flops in position. Queen 9 to open. See, we're getting a good shot. King Jack, deuce, dry. We're going to use a larger size. Turn the gut shot. I'm going to bluff this river if it checks to us a third time. What size do I want to use here out of position? I actually think I like a check raise against a green tag. Maybe he just like bets a hand that shouldn't bet. I mean, if you've got ace queen, he's getting us, isn't he? There's no two ways about that. So I'm not worried about that. If he's got king queen, he just gets a lot anyway. Sorry, ace queen, he just gets a lot anyway. But I'd like him to like bet call a hand like jack 10, something like that. Now we hope he doesn't have jack 10 because we're all in. Well, he's all in. No snap call, which we like. 11 dogs is 3 betters again for the fucking gazillionth time. I mean, his 3 betting is literally out of control. It can't be good. This guy cannot be good at poker with the amount of 3 betting he does. Big bets his flop. I mean, he seems to fucking find relatively decent bet sizes, but maybe he is. Maybe he's just really fucking good, but just playing 10 and 0 because he wants to. Shits and giggles. I'm not calling versus large bet, even though we have 2 overs in the back door. He just gets to put me in the bin, doesn't he? Is this guy ever going to be merging here? If he is, he could still have better hands. He could have like 9s, 10s, jacks, king X, flush draws, and just fold. Here versus this small bet against banker, we're going to call once. This guy looks like he's some kind of reg too, so he can get the orange tag. We're going to get 3 bet by 11 dogs again in just momentarily. We didn't this time. Yes, ain't not a C bet. It's too mergy. Still not a bet. And I think we have a bet on the river. And we just plenty of hands we can now get value from. King Jack suited. Deep. I think we're going to have a cheeky little 4 bet. We're nearly at the end of the video. Could go out with a bang. A cheeky little 4 bet. Because we're deep, I'm actually not going to make it as big. Because he just gets to win a larger percentage of a larger pot in position too often. Get a really interesting flop. We're supposed to just range bet here because we've 4 bet and it's king high. Don't like the idea of range betting, but I'm gonna fucking do it. And we take it down. And we get someone limping in. So they immediately qualify for the blue tag. Congratulations, sir. And we get a thoroughly miserable flop. And it's going to be the end of the videos too. Set our next big blind this time because we're actually not like the previous videos. We just sat out straight away because we're going to come straight back. This is the end, so we're just going to do it properly. if he checks, is this river bet too thin? I don't think so, but I'm going to go quite small. This guy's just leading out. And I think, no, we're going to call ones. Not, really not loving it. What did that guy call with up here? 10-9. Nice value bet on the river, Reggie. 10-9 suited. Pitching it versus middle position. This guy's now checked. I suspect we're behind here to a 7 or a 9. Do we now want to turn our hand into a bluff? That is the question. Do we want to turn our hand into a bluff? I think when he bets flop and then checks the turn jack, I think it's 7 or a 9 all day. Fuck it. It's the last hand. We're going to turn our hand into a bluff. Now, I'm concerned because a lot of his 7-8 and 7x and 9x might have an 8 with them. He can have plenty of 2 pairs here. Do I want to abandon this bluff? Do I want to abandon this bluff? Think I do. Don't think that's a card I want to bluff on. I'm just going to lose out. Just check back and lose. Oh, beat 10-6 because he was even more merged than I anticipated. So yeah, there you go. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this little trilogy. I hope it gets more than 26 views in the first day like my last fucking video did. And you can help that by, if you've reached this stage, by leaving a comment and by liking and by subscribing and by sharing and all those wonderful things. I'm out of here now because I've got places to go and people to see. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be back on Monday with some more content with Owen. Bye-bye for now.